Hi, I'm George Cox, production coordinator for Acton TV, and I'm very excited to be the special guest host of Business Matters for the Middlesex West Chamber of Commerce. My in-studio guest today is Becca Sitella of Create Sewing Studio. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice to be here.
How did you start a sewing studio 9 years ago?
Well, it's a little bit of a complicated question because at the point at which my son was ready to go off to school, I was ready to start a new business, and I ended up going to Simmons School of Management, and I got an MBA there. And I specifically went into their entrepreneurship program. So I developed a plan. It was actually Create Craft Studio, but I graduated in 2008 into a recession, and it was not a great time to open a big retail store and studio. So I took one tiny piece of it, which was sewing. And I knew that I could do that out of my home to start with, and that I wouldn't need teachers, I wouldn't need a whole lot of stuff. So I started with that, and it just became so popular so fast that I just stuck with sewing.
And the thing is, it's a very creative thing. There's so many things you can do with sewing. What is your background, your educational and your work background?
Well, I went to school at Tufts and the Museum School, so I have a BA in art history and a studio degree. And I also was, I had a business where I did freelance graphic design for people. But I got really tired of that. I did it for a long time. I got very tired of it. So sewing was always a part of what I did, but I did everything from silk painting. At one point I was installing stained glass windows in downtown Boston, so I still have installations in Boston. But it's just very heavy work, and it just, at a certain point I was looking for something else. And I like running my own business. When I worked as a graphic designer, I also did that as my own business. It's just, there are a lot of pieces that are very interesting.
So Becky, you sound like a Renaissance woman. You're very creative, and you're using your creativity to make a business, which I think is wonderful.
Thank you.
And how many teachers do you have working under you right now?
I have 12 part-time sewing instructors. So it's a very busy place.
So it's a really busy place.
Yeah.
And
part of the reason I have so many sewing instructors is, A, people want to work part-time, so that nobody really wants full-time work. And also, because of the way the classes are structured, we have multi-levels in each class. So when you have 4 or 5 projects going on all in the same class, there's no way one teacher can do it. We have between, say, 6 and 12 kids, mostly children, take our classes. We might have 6 beginners, 4 kids doing a level 2 project, 3 kids doing a level 3, and 1 person doing a level 8. And I have to juggle my teachers and make sure that I have somebody who can handle all of those different levels. So in a typical summer class, we'll have 12 kids and 4 teachers plus me. So it's very, very busy. It's a lot of action
I think that's
on.
awesome. And you have, what are the age ranges of some of the groups that you have?
The age range that we advertise is age 6 to 18. And we actually get a lot of 6-year-olds, believe it or not, and some of them are quite good. Really kind of most of the kids fall in the range of, say, from 8 to 11, sort of the elementary school age.
So what types of things do they?
Well, we have a 12-plus level curriculum. So, and the adults, it's set up somewhat differently for the adult classes. But for the kids, they come in on level 1, and they make a variety of projects that are beginner level projects. And then once they've signed up for one session, every session they sign up for after that, they move up a level. So the kids get very excited about this, and they'll say to me in a session, "What do I get to make next time?" And it's like, okay, well, what level are you? Yeah, you get to make the dress next time, or you get to make a romper, or you get to make shorts or whatever. So they know, once they've done it once, they know that they're going to get to do more stuff.
So you take people at different levels of experience, like
within one class.
Some might be intermediate, and you'll know when they come in.
Well, everybody comes in as a beginner. As I said, the adults are separate, but with the kids, even if they've taken a sewing class before, I have them come in as a beginner because when they go through our curriculum, I know what they can do. And there are a lot of kids have taken sewing lessons where all they do is they'll make a stuffy, you know. And what we primarily do is garment construction, which is, you know, there are definitely different levels of expertise. Like I wouldn't teach darts and a zipper to somebody who had never sewn before. You know, you start off with something simple and you work your way up.
And what are some of the things the adults work on? I know for me, I would always love to learn how to sew, and I'm very intimidated about threading the machine, you know, ruining a pair of pants, because I'm a short guy, so I always need to have my pants hemmed.
Yeah.
And, you know, what type of things are adults looking for? That type of thing? I mean,
Well,
how to do a zipper?
some are. We actually had a gentleman about 6 months ago, all he wanted to do was learn how to hem. And he came in for a private sewing session just to do that. And he hemmed all his pants, and now he knows how to do it, and he's moved on. For most people, they'll, like for the adults, we have, I think, 4 beginner projects. There's lounge pants for garments. We have a zippered pillow project for home deck. We have a, let me see, oh God, I'm losing it. An infinity scarf and a clutch. Those go together. What was the 4th one? I'm trying to remember. But a lot of the adults, at least in our group class, sign up over and over and over again. And once they've gone through the beginner project, there is no adult curriculum. They'll say, I want to make a dog coat out of spandex. Can I do it? And it's like, if they've been with me for a year, yeah, we'll do it. You know, just get the pattern and the spandex and we'll do it.
And you offer group classes, but
Yep.
you also have private instruction
Yes,
for
we do.
children and adults.
Exactly. We have private instruction for kids. We have parent-child lessons. We have adult private lessons and semi-private. Sometimes 2 kids will want to take lessons together. So.
What do you say to people or see people when they're intimidated, when they're trying to sew something and they get frustrated? Because I mean, people who have never done this before.
Right.
I mean, what would you like to say to people
Well,
who want to try this? Because I think it's a great skill to learn. I really do.
The reality is, if you have a good sewing machine that's not hard to use, and you have a calm, patient instructor who knows what they're doing, you just take it step by step. You know, we start off, we teach people how to wind a bobbin, how to thread up the machine. And, you know, that kind of stuff, when you own a machine, there's a manual that comes with it. It's a thread path, you know. So we show, and we are completely set up. So we have machines already set up in the sewing studio. You don't have to bring a machine. We have everything. The only thing that students buy is fabric. And if you run out of time and you're dropping your kid off and you didn't have a chance to go to the fabric store, we even keep a limited supply of fabric. For $20, you buy a piece of fabric and you're on the road and your kid starts sewing. So, you know, it's teaching someone how to use a machine is not hard. What's really challenging is explaining and teaching different techniques and helping people navigate through the instructions, because 40 years ago, the instructions on patterns were very good. They aren't good anymore. So they just aren't good. You know, there's a pattern company. I taught my husband to sew because right after I started the sewing studio, he begged me to teach him because he had specific things he wanted to make.
Right, yeah, because you know you need it for all kinds of applications.
Right,
in your life, yeah.
right. Well, he had something specific he wanted to make, and then he got so good he ended up making dress shirts that he wore to work, and he'd say, "I sewed this," and people would say, "No,
That's wonderful.
That's Brooks Brothers. There's no way," you know. And he'd make it hard for himself, like plaids and stripes and matching everything up.
And plus, you know it's going to fit exactly the way you like,
Exactly,
which is important.
Exactly. But I mean, that's a challenging project. A dress shirt it's up there. But the reality is, learning how to run a machine is not difficult. What's challenging is, as I said, understanding what the different techniques are, like how to make a dart, how to make pleats, how to do zipper insertions, and also when you see a pattern, understanding what they want you to do. I have a whole library of probably 100 books on different sewing techniques, because the patterns don't give you that instruction. So, you know, it's I don't know what to say. It's a really interesting discipline, because it's a combination of being creative, but within the confines of technique and patterns and having things fit, so I don't know, I love it.
Well, I think it's great because what makes it special is you're creating something that you can use later, and it gives it a little bit more meaning to you and in your family. Instead of buying something off the rack, you have something that you created.
Exactly. And the reality is with clothing today, the quality is really very poor. You have to spend a lot of money to even get any kind of quality. And when our students make something, not only is it well made, but it's unique. They chose the fabric. Even if they're using a pattern within our curriculum, they make it their own. And nobody else has that particular outfit in that, and they just get so excited about it. It's so fun.
It makes it unique and special. Now, I wanted to talk about the sewing machines, because I know you must have seen, I know my aunt used to be an unbelievable sewer.
Yeah.
The whole family would just go to my Aunt Anna's house and have her sew. She had one of the ones with the pedals.
Oh, we have one of those. Yeah. At home we have one.
But I'm sure technology always evolves. I'm sure sewing machines have evolved. I mean, what have they changed a lot since you've been doing this, and what type of sewing machines?
There are different types of machines. So you can start with the most basic, inexpensive machine, and then you can go up to super high-end embroidery machines. You can spend $100, you can spend $25,000. And the machines that we use are, what's important for us in our machines is that they're solid and that they're safe. A lot of the very inexpensive machines, the kind that you could just buy online for $100, don't have an interior frame. And when you have a machine, you have a needle, you have a motor, you have things going on, you put any kind of heavier fabric in that, when all that's inside is styrofoam, if it torques, you're in trouble. Right, because you have a needle going one way.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
dangerous,
a
whole class in itself, I think.
Right,
just threading the machine and just proper safety techniques.
Well, what I'm talking about is the structure of the machine. All of our machines have a steel interior frame, so it's not the most expensive machine on the market, but it's safe. It's also not the cheapest machine. And the other thing that we discovered is this machine has speed control, so we can teach the youngest child on this machine because it goes clip, 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 clip. A lot of machines, the only way that you can control the speed is with the foot pedal. So we're about, a good machine that's safe and will also do what you want to do. So
I think it's excellent, and I think if anyone at home, if they want to learn more about what you do, give them your website.
Oh, it's www.createsew.com.
Createsew.com. Visit her website, and this has been a very fast, 15 minutes. And I think I would like to come down to your studio and learn how to hem my pants.
There you go.
Completely serious. I think it's a great skill.
Yeah.
I think it's a really creative, great thing that you do for
thank you.
the children and adults. And thank you for being a guest on Business Matters.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
My pleasure.
We'll be back with our next guest.